There is no such permanent thing in this world. No, change is the only permanent thing in this world. Everything changes, everything gets old, and everything is passing. Whatever we have today is the result of a change from yesterday. Our cultures, attitudes, and habits can change over the years and time. Japan is one of the richest and leading countries today in terms of culture and economy. The samurai is one of the symbols of Japanese culture. But over time, the samurai gradually disappeared due to what is called stimulus diffusion or cultural diffusion. Stimulus diffusion is when an idea diffuses from its cultural heart outward, but the original idea is changed over the years. As modern militaries emerged in the 19th century, the samurai were rendered increasingly obsolete and very expensive to maintain. Because of the newer and more powerful equipment brought by other countries, the Japanese were forced to abolish the samurai. In this video, we will learn how modern equipment and technology have affected the samurai over time or the stimulus diffusion.
Find a way of life
What do you want for yourself?
worth dying for.
The way of the samurai.
Tom Cruise, The Last Samurai.
The Last Samurai is a movie that depicts Japan's change of culture from samurai era to the modern era. The main character, Nathan Arkin, is a Civil War veteran who is hired to train Japanese soldiers in modern fighting techniques. The movie shows how to use a new era of technologies in affecting people's customs, beliefs, and values. The battle scenes are stirring and elegant method, but they are less about who wins than about what can be proven by dying. The characteristics, philosophy, and history of the samurai are also discussed in the movie. The samurai were a warrior class of feudal Japan who served the lords of clans in exchange for the land. They were known for their loyalty, discipline, and honor. The samurai code of conduct was called Bushido, which means the way of warrior. It emphasized loyalty to one's lord, self-discipline, and respect of others. The Last Samurai explores themes such as cultural identity, tradition, and modernization. The movie highlights the conflict between modernization and tradition, between cultures, and also between different styles of warfare. The movie teaches us it's important to respect others' culture and tradition. It also teaches us that we should not be afraid to change and that we should embrace new ideas and technologies while still preserving our cultural heritage.
When we grow up, we start to see changes happen because of culture and people are different all over the places. The Last Samurai film that takes place in a unique period of Japan's history and highlights the conflict between modernization and tradition, between cultures, and also between different styles of warfare. When you live in another country for long enough, you start really embrace certain aspect of the culture, and also if you take a liking to the language. The samurai leader Katsumoto and also Nathan wanted to preserve even if they knew that they were fighting a losing battle. A culture's custom must be remembered and its history remembered by all even if the country is to go in a new direction. The Last Samurai makes it clear that even if there are no more samurai, their memory must be retained in the national consciousness, and it's important for Japan not to be belittled or bullied around by other powers. Receiving Western advice arms, and goods was the paramount need at the time, but not the sake of destroying a part of Japan that made it a special nation to be begin with.
The Last Samurai 2003 is an epic drama film that takes place in a unique period of Japan's history and highlights the conflict between modernizations and tradition, between culture and also between different styles of welfare. However, it is not just the conflicts that are highlighted in this film, but also the cooperation and the understanding that can happen as well in certain aspects, such as between cultures. While this film is not especially based on a true story, it is based on a number of true events that took place in the later half of 19th century of Japan and highlights the role of Western influence in Japan during the period of the Meiji Restoration of Reforms. The Last Samurai is a powerful film because it reminds us how customs and tradition form the backbone of a country's culture and its history. While nations shift and change, the tradition and customs should never be forgotten by its people. That is the main message of the film and why the samurai fought and died to preserve their place in Japanese society rather than be changed into something they are not. Becoming Western because they had to be was an insult to them and something they were against in an effort to remain a samurai in whatever capacity they could in order to serve the emperor. When you live in the another country for long enough, you start to rely and embrace certain aspect of the culture, and also if you take a liking to the language, you may realize you may want to stay there now and that you're acclimated rather than return to a home culture or country whose flaws become so visible to see when you were blind before to them. This movie does a great job of showing Stockholm syndrome and how powerful it can be.
In The Last Samurai, stimulus diffusion is emphasized through the interactions between the Western and Japanese cultures, particularly in the military tactics and cultural values. The film follows Nathan Algren, an American military advisor, as he introduces Western warfare techniques to Japanese soldiers. This represents the initial stimulus diffusion, where Algren brings new ideas and military strategies from the West to Japan. However, Algren becomes immersed in traditional Japanese samurai culture, adopting elements of samurai code of honor and swordsmanship. This reversal of influence demonstrates how cultural diffusion is not a one-way process but can be reciprocal, with ideas and practices flowing between cultures. The film also highlights the clash between Westernization and the preservation of traditional Japanese culture. The samurai led by Katsumoto, resisting Western values and technologies, symbolizing resistance to stimulus diffusion. They fight to preserve their way of life and uphold their ancient traditions in the face of modernization. Overall, The Last Samurai portrays a complex interplay of cultural exchange and diffusion, highlighting the influence and impact of foreign cultures on local traditions and the potential for reciprocal adoption of ideas. It showcases how cultural diffusion can lead to both the preservation and transformation of cultural practices and serve as an angle to examine the dynamics of stimulus diffusion in history.